Hello and welcome back for another episode of Martha Monday. So if you are new here, we are going through Martha Stewart's Homekeeping Handbook, chapter by chapter, page by page, and today's episode is going to be pages 70 to 94, which is all about your large appliances and how to care for them and how to clean them and everything in between. So let's get started. So the first couple pages, 70 and 71, are all just about the warranty and how to get the most out of your warranty, whether or not Martha suggests getting extended warranties for certain appliances, etc. And then she breaks down all the different types of large appliances. So it goes from ranges to cooktops, and then gets into how to clean those. And then she gets into different types of cooktops, whether it be the gas burner or coil burner, etc., and how to clean each of them. Then she gets into the ventilation hood, then into microwave ovens, which apparently she considers a large appliance. Then she gets into dishwashers, which we already covered last week. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it below. And then she gets into refrigerators from page 88 to 94, which is basically what we will be covering, refrigerators and freezers. The reason why I'm not covering the other things is because I've read through Martha's guide and I have how to clean videos on my range hood and how to clean the filters, how to clean the oven, how to clean the stove top, how to clean the dishwasher, how to clean the toaster oven. So there's a lot of content there and I'm just going to link it below, but it's pretty much aligned with what Martha suggests. I would say that we maybe even get more in depth in my videos, just because with Martha's book, it's just a paragraph for each, but with the video they are 10 to 20 minutes long and hyperspeed. So I know the toaster oven video probably took me 3 days to film because of the process, and you get to see it all in 10 minutes. So there's a lot of content there. But I want to get into the refrigerators and get some good call to actions here for us to actually get done. So there are 6 steps of caring for your refrigerator that Martha suggests. So number 1, plug your refrigerator and freezer, if it's separate, into a grounded outlet. Never use an extension cord. Number 2, cover food in airtight wrap. The refrigerator and freezer draws moisture out of food, whether it's lettuce uncovered or a bowl of leftovers. Even eggs with their porous shells will stay fresher longer when refrigerated in their cartons. I don't do that. I unwrap them because I think they look nice. For more food storage, turn to page 130. So I guess we will get into all that stuff later on, and we'll just focus on the fridge in itself and not the food storage for now. Number 3, never store foods or other items on top of the refrigerator, which can warm, particular bottles of oil, which can turn rancid if exposed to heat. So you can see the fridge behind me. We aren't able to put storage up on top, but if you do have things on top of your refrigerator, it's time to take them down. Number 4, keep refrigerator 3/4 full to ensure it runs at optimum efficiency for the lowest cost. This allows for plenty of room for air to circulate. It also allows for cold items to hold the cold, keeping the temperature stable when the door is repeatedly open. So don't ever have your refrigerator like overfilled, and I know that's hard around the holidays. Number 5, neutralize odors by placing an open box of baking soda in the refrigerator. Stir the powder up from time to time to refresh it, and replace the box every 3 months or sooner if your nose tells you it's time. Mark the box with the date which it was opened. That's a good idea. And then finally, number 6, when discarding an old refrigerator or freezer, remove the door for public safety. She doesn't get into why, but good to know. So then she gets into different refrigerator styles and which is best for certain lifestyles. And then on page 90, it gets into how to keep the refrigerator clean. And I will give you this checklist a little bit differently than she does, but basically she breaks it down into daily, weekly, and seasonally. So daily, there are 4 things on her list. Wipe up spills immediately before they have a chance to dry. Number 2, ensure everything goes into the refrigerator. Everything that goes into the refrigerator is immaculate. Always wipe off the rims of jam jars, salad dressing, ketchup containers. Ooh, mine's probably really bad. Number 3 is check for spoilage and throw out food and beverages that are past their prime. She does that every day. I do that weekly. Place anything likely to drip, like defrosting meat or cartons of berries, on a rimmed plate. That's a good idea. And then weekly she has 2. Wipe doors, including edges and top of the refrigerator, with a cloth dampened with mild dishwashing soap and water. Pay attention to special areas around the handles which harbor sticky fingerprints. So that's interesting. She's talking about the outside doors, and I actually do those daily. So I've switched the 2 things from her daily and my daily to weekly. So that's interesting. And then seasonally, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things to do seasonally. Okay, number 1, turn off the power at the circuit breaker or fuse box. Put all the food in. Number 2 is put all the food into a cooler and remove the glass shelves, crisper drawers, and bring them to room temperature so there's no danger of them cracking when you wash them. That is good to know. I have 2 how to clean your refrigerator, how to deep clean your refrigerator videos on this channel. And if you watch that, I'm pretty sure I just take them right out of the fridge and use boiling hot water on them. So thank goodness they didn't crack, but I'll link those videos below as well if you want to see exactly how I do what Martha is describing right now. Number 3, wipe the interior with a solution of 2 tablespoons of baking soda, 1 quart of hot water, then rinse with a damp cloth and dry with a dry, clean towel. Don't use any soap or detergent in the fridge because your food will absorb it. If you watch my videos, I definitely don't follow this. I use Mrs. Meyer's in my fridge. So learn from my mistakes. Now, number 4, remove caked on residue. Hydrate liberally by applying baking soda solution mentioned above with a wet towel. Leave the door open and let the residue soak as necessary. Then wipe away the stains with a clean, damp towel. If the stain won't come off, repeat the process with a mildly abrasive, chlorine-free household cleaner such as Bon Amy, she loves that, or dilute 1 tablespoon of cleanser in 1 pint of hot water to avoid scratching the plastic surfaces. So she is talking about the deep clean where you actually unplug the fridge. I've never done that kind of a deep clean here. Now she says soak the shelves and bins in a solution of 2 tablespoons baking soda for every quart of hot water, and do not wash in the dishwasher. Dry thoroughly before replacing. That also doesn't really work for me unless I'm to use like our bathtub, because the plastic containers and stuff in our fridge is so much bigger than our kitchen sink, so there's no way they could soak. So that's why I did it the way I did it in those videos. So let me know if you do it the same way or if you have another suggestion. Next, clean the door seals, which collect crumbs with hot water and mild dishwashing liquid. Dry thoroughly with a clean cloth. Check the seals periodically. Finally, clean the drip pan or tray, also known as the defrost tray, which holds water from continually process of defrosting. If your refrigerator has one, you would have to look underneath the base grill. So I'm curious of whether or not we have one. She does say wear rubber gloves and a dust mask first, just in case the water is moldy from not doing it, which mine probably would be because I don't think I've ever done that. So that is everything she says for daily, weekly, and seasonally for cleaning the fridge. Today is Sunday when I'm filming this, Monday when you are going to see it first, but I'm gonna do my weekly clean for the fridge just so you can kind of see what I do on a weekly. It might differ a little bit from Martha's, but again, I will link my kind of checklist below, and then you can kind of decide if you want to do a mix between mine and Martha's or whatever it is. Now, the next 2 pages are on the freezer. So with freezer, she has 6 tips as well. Number 1 would be neutralize odors by placing an open box of baking soda. Same deal as before, replace every 3 months. I do not have baking soda in the freezer. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Number 2, store all foods in airtight, moisture-proof, vapor-proof containers or wraps specifically designed for the freezer. She's gonna give us more information about that later on during the food storage chapter, which we talked about earlier. Number 3, trapped air can affect the flavor and texture of frozen foods. So you should try to force as much air out as possible from the containers before you seal and freeze them. That's good to know. Number 4, if you plan to store fresh meats and poultry in the freezer for more than 2 weeks, use freezer wrap to cover the original packaging and label the wrap with the contents and the date. Number 5, keep freezer working effectively. Don't hold too many things at once. Doing so can temporarily reduce the freezer capability and raise the temperature of the already frozen foods. Number 6, put packages in the coldest part of the freezer, first against the walls or bottom of the apartment, not in the freezer door. Allow adequate room for items for cold air to circulate. Now, then she goes into how to properly defrost a freezer. We are going to organize the freezer today. I don't think I'm going to wipe it down, like take everything out to wipe it down, but we're gonna go ahead and organize that and just make sure that it's all set, because I think it's a disaster at the moment. And then she gets into how to defrost a freezer, and there are 7 steps for that. So I will link those 7 steps below in case you are interested. But that is, and then how to clean the freezer, which again, daily, monthly, and annually. So I can link that below as well. My version, not Martha's version. To see Martha's version, you're gonna have to get the book. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let's organize this fridge so that I can do my food shop for the week. I never do the food shop, or I try not to do the food shop before I do this with the fridge, because if I do, then it will get totally messy. So yeah, okie doke. Here is how the fridge currently looks. And I already know there are many things Martha does not suggest, such as open food, which now that I'm thinking about it, makes total sense. And here is the freezer, which again, lots of things that she says not to do. Primarily trying not to keep frozen foods in there. Oh, and also I have old candles in here. If you do want to learn how to reuse your candles and actually get the wax out, I was thinking about filming that video soon so that you can use the pretty containers, because some of them are just too pretty to get rid of. I thought that one would be good for, like, I don't know, cotton balls or something in the bathroom. Anyway, so that is the messy freezer fridge combo that we are dealing with.